What's up, y'all? Hi, Melissa. How are you? How's everybody tonight? I just walked in the door from work and rushed to get on live, so whatever you guys got going on, let's talk about it. How is everyone tonight? Let me know who's in here and where you're from. What you guys are up to tonight. I'll wait for everyone to come in. Good, trying to get rid of this damn migraine. Ouch. I'm thankful that I've never had to deal with that. West Virginia, beautiful country. Hi, Lori, how are you? Erasing Monday, Grandmama. Why are we erasing Monday? From Jersey. What happened today that was so horrible? I'm good. I'm a little tired, but yeah, we're going to do 2 hours tonight. I'm really pushing it this week. Hi, Deb. How are you? North Carolina, Beck. Crystal from Tennessee, hello. If you guys are coming in, if you could tap the screen and like the live and share it if you can. Helps us move up in the live rankings. But whatever you guys want to talk about tonight, we can talk about. I'm an open book, so if you, Ginger, we're at Indiana. I'm in Indiana too, Northwest. You can talk about whatever you want, so I'm an open book. If you have questions on my content, want more details on specifics, feel free to ask. Nashville, Kristen, how are you? Georgia, Kelly. Northeast, Ginger's northeast, so like South Bend, Fort Wayne. Sasha from North Carolina, hello, how are you tonight? Ohio, Lynn, how are you? Let's talk about how that shirt logo needs to be on the other side. I know, it's right in the... Text or email Till Valhalla Project and tell them to put it on the right side. It's slowly going. The podcast, it'll be a work in progress all year. I won't do anything with it till next year as far as launching anything, but I'll be recording episodes to have them ready to go probably like 2 months before I'm ready to launch it. I'll start recording. Hi Tina, how are you? Difficult connection from my end. Yeah, this is really the only... a couple other shirts I have that would probably do better, but... Okay. Were you on vacation, or did you tell me this last night? Hi, Texas Sassy Mama, how are you? Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Florida. We're at in Florida. Vicky from Michigan. Hello, Marie. Hi, how are you? If there's anything you guys want to talk about, please shoot. Just left the gym. Yeah, I forgot I was supposed to go to the gym tonight, but I had promised you guys that I'd go live, so I needed to shift my workout this week. I'll start it tomorrow. Hi, Swordfish. How are you? Good evening, Jen. Orlando. My daughter's in March. Ah, okay. Very cool. Lucy's from Illinois. Hello. Hi, Barbie. How are you? So as you guys are coming in, if you can like the post, just hit the screen. It'll eventually won't let you like it anymore, but that helps us move up. But anyway, if you guys don't know who I am and you're new here, I'm Brian, Tad Girl Dad. I am the father of 2 teenage daughters, 15 and 17. I am currently almost 2 years sober. I have been divorced for 6 years, going on 6 years. Separated / divorced. Was married for 17. Had a lifetime of abandonment and insecurities and depression and anxiety. Overcame a lot of everything and have a lot of life experience from 13 years old when I started drinking and my parents getting divorced and grandparents dying and girlfriends breaking up with me and best friends dying and all kinds of stuff. So I share my stories in hopes that I can help someone save their own life, save their own relationship, or just make themselves a better them. That's my hope. And I have aspirations to become a life coach, health coach, addiction counselor, and make this my career, helping as many people as I can till the day I die. That's where I'm at. So 2018 9 6 and 5 19 6 and 5. Wow, you got your hands full. Thank you, Barbie. Little Lisa, I appreciate you with all the roses. That was amazing of you. Al-Anon for 12 years. My mother was an Al-Anon. My father was an alcoholic. I know a lot about Al-Anon. My mother, when I was younger, my mother was in it for a long time until they got divorced. So, Wendy, as always, if I miss questions, you can text me. I have my text open on my MacBook. No joining. I have some good lives co-hosting lives coming up. I am from Northwest Indiana, Barbie. Close to Chicago, just over the border in Indiana. You went to college, Lucy Jones. You went to college to be a drug and alcohol counselor. That is very admirable. Maybe you can answer me this then, Lucy, because I assume you work in addiction clinics or some sort. I don't necessarily want to become a counselor, but can't I be a coach or like is there different degrees or different certifications when it comes to that? Can you answer that for me? Hi, Lenny. How are you? I know when I was in rehab, there was like the people that just worked with patients, and then there was the counselors, which were two different. There was like the day-to-day people that worked with them, then there was like counselors that came in and worked with us. And then we had our one-on-one counseling. I have to have a degree. Okay. I will look into that then and get started on that, because that is going to be a major part of what I want to do. Advocate in the treatment centers. Okay. So what do you guys want to know about me or about whatever you're going through? Maybe I can help. If you follow my content, then you know pretty much what I talk about. Oh, okay. Associate's degree. I can do that. Yeah, I found a really great one for to do my life coaching and health coaching certification through. I know there's really not a governing body that governs that stuff yet, but there are some certification programs and affiliated certifications that are renowned or recognized as like legit in that field. My goal here is to be a life coach, health coach, an addiction advocate, counselor, whatever I need to do for that. I want to eventually. I've been a plumber pipe fitter for 27, 25 years now, and in the next 5 years I want to transfer into coaching and counseling full time. So I find that I have more than enough life experience to do this for a living. I just need to refine my knowledge of it, all relationships and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to spend the next year or two doing. But I want to be legit. I don't want to be helping people or trying to help people just based on life experience. Yeah, and I believe that God blessed me with the superpower of a man being vulnerable, a vulnerable man. I have no problem talking about anything and everything that happened to me. I have no insecurities about it, and I think it's the one relatable factor and the one connecting tool that I have to really reach out to people. At least that's what I've been told multiple times. So I'm just gonna bank on the fact that I'm relatable and open and honest and have a lot of experience with a lot of crappy situations in life. So Miss Jand Crew, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I'm a Christian man. Obviously, my content every morning is my morning affirmations. So that's amazing. I'm trying to read your handle, Renee. Everything, my foundation comes from Christ. I'm a firm believer that he saved my life to do this, that he had me go through all of those trials and tribulations for 28 years just so that I would know how to be able to help other people. Lucy Jones, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Tyra. Hi, Jill. So you guys got any questions? What do you guys got going on? Tina, if you're in here, I know I talked to you earlier today. We don't have to address your stuff, but you and I will talk separately more about what you have going on. So yeah, I'm a little bit tired today. I got off the live last night and I talked to a friend of mine until 11, and then I couldn't sleep for crap. So I think I finally fell asleep at midnight and woke up at 4 to go to the gym. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Jill, you're planting a garden. Where are you at that you can plant a garden? Because I'm in Chicago and it's 22 degrees, 24 degrees or something right now. Kansas. Jayhawks in the Final Four. Congrats to Kansas. So, yeah, it was a long day. And then I worked 12 hours and rushed to get home to get back on live tonight. I won't be live I probably won't be live again until Saturday night because I got just too much going on. I got my uncle's funeral Thursday. Not looking forward to that. Or wake Thursday and funeral on Friday. What's up, Jason? How are you? I'm doing good. It's been a long day. How are you tonight? Thank you, Jill. Do you have any questions for me about my content? Anything that you want me to go more in detail about? So for me, thank you, Jason. For me, I've been doing a lot of research on attachments. That's where I'm at right now. I'm reading the book Attached, or listening to the book Attached, and it's super informative. I can see how I've grown and gravitated to different attachment styles in my life throughout my life, and it's very interesting to understand all that stuff now. What's the best way I can support my recovering addict child when she has a rough patch in the road? It's funny you bring that up, Amy, because somebody messaged me today about that. I don't know if they're in the live now, but somebody was asking me about kind of something similar to that. So I will talk to you about that. I should say, as a subject matter right now. So the way that I survived early sobriety was by coming up with I call it a battle plan. And by a battle plan, I mean that you're going to have days where they're just brutal. Learning about attachment styles help more than anything. I can feel you on that one. So coming up with a battle plan was my saving grace, because some days are just super horrible. I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster early on in sobriety, and that's a fact. And I think any recovering addict or alcoholic will tell you that the first 90 days are the worst. But for me, what I like to do when I just want to get away is I like to just immerse myself in garbage TV, like Netflix series or whatever. Like, I just like to veg out. So what I did was I made up this battle plan where when I was having a bad day and I knew that I was just going to, this day was going to beat me no matter what, I just allowed myself to, let the day beat me. I always stocked my house with my favorite snacks, my favorite drinks. And when I found myself going through the day and I just kept getting beat down, I would just finish everything that I had to do for that day, no matter how long it took me or how short of a time it took me. If I ended up finishing everything that I had to get done by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the rest of the day was for me to just go veg out and survive the day. Basically what I found when I would do this is I would wake up the next morning and I would be fine. Whatever stressors, whatever anxiety I was feeling from the day before, when I would sleep it off and just not worry about it, when I would wake up the next day, 99% of the time, it was over and I could start a new day fresh. So figure out a battle plan. Figure out what works for her and work with her on those days. Like, be her safe place to come to. Like, hey, Mom, I'm having, this such and such has happened today and it's overcoming me and I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, I'm worried that I'm going to relapse. And then work with her on the battle plan, instilling this battle plan, just because some days it's like, I know they use the phrase 1 day at a time, but sometimes it's 1 hour at a time early on, and it's brutal. So Sorry, I'm reading comments. I'm having trouble getting past my own anger at my addict daughter. I love her, but I'm so mad. Why are you so mad, Renee? Why are you so mad? Explain that, please. Hi, Sky. How are you? Proud of how much you learned to show up for yourself. I know it's hard. Oh, it's hard. The hardest thing about addiction, and I will preface this, Renee, too, is she does have 4 years of sobriety on her belt, but has had 2 miscarriages in 6 months. That's horrible. That's gotta. I don't understand why you're mad at her though, or why you're so angry at her. Oh, well, that was a different person. I'm sorry. I'm mixing you guys up. Okay. No, that's my picture on the wall. My house is beach themed. So who? Oh, so yours is in prison. So you're mad at her because she's in prison? Is that what I'm? Or am I really just mixing everybody up? No. Okay, I got it. So Renee's daughter is in prison. So, what is you being mad at her accomplishing? I don't know the details, and you don't have to share them on here. I'm just trying. You have a choice here to be mad or not mad, and I'm wondering why you're mad. Hi, Joanne. How are you? Because the hardest part about I was starting to talk about the hardest part about getting sober is the fear of not knowing how you're going to cope with life without your vice. Okay, maybe it's more her. Probably. And here's the reality, when it comes to addiction, the person who's addicted, and we talked about this last night, the person who's addicted is coping with something that happened from their past, a trauma, a death, some sort of a negative emotional feeling. They don't want to feel it or they don't know how to process it, so they're coping with it, coping with whatever medium they're using so they don't have to feel that emotion, feel that feeling, or address the problem. And over time, the addict continues to do this, and then it becomes their addiction, it becomes their life, it becomes their safe place, it becomes the way that they cope. So the thought of them having to stop that is as big as them their most close person dying. That's how ingrained in their life it is. But they're scared. They're so scared because they don't know what's on the other side of the fence. The other side of the fence being sobriety. How am I going to cope with my anxiety? How am I going to cope with my fears? How am I going to cope with my emotions that I'm feeling and all those traumas that happen to me? How am I going to cope with the rape, the molestation, the belittling and the making fun of whatever their thing is? They don't know how they're going to cope with it. And that's where therapy comes in. That's where trauma therapy, there's all kinds of help out there if you can get them to go. But that's the other part of it. Nobody's going to get help unless they want to get help. A lot of people end up overdosing or drinking themselves to death or dying because they never reach the point where the fear of sobriety overcomes the fear of them killing themselves, or vice versa. So for me, when I finally decided to go to rehab, I had gotten to a point where I thought I was going to die inadvertently in a car accident, in a bar fight, just choking on my own puke, whatever it was. But I was going to inadvertently kill myself. And that trumped the fear of me getting help. So that's why I was able to go get help. Nobody was going to make me quit drinking unless I wanted to quit drinking. She was near death when she went to prison. Well, I don't. She needs help. Okay, she needs help. She needs therapy. Somehow, some way, you have to plead with her. You have to make her see that she's worthy. That whatever is bothering. If you know what her traumas are, don't amplify her traumas. Understand her traumas. Embrace her traumas with her. Walk with her in getting help. Go with her to therapy. I mean, literally go with her into the therapist's office and talk things out. Did people, Caitlin, Brian, did people shame you while you were in active addiction? Yeah, my daughter did. My own daughter started to shame me, and that was kind of like the catalyst for me starting to turn the corner to figuring it out. Oh yeah, I mean, people didn't want to be around me. Who wants, now that I'm sober and I'm around my friends that are drinking, when they get too drunk, I don't want to be around them. They're annoying as hell. I don't mind when people are drinking, but when they get that sloppy drunk, it's so annoying. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. My anger came from having Amy. My anger came from having some of the same experiences, but I've always been sober. Addicts won't heal until they're ready to heal. Correct. Did people shame you? Yes. People shame me. So my daughter Savannah, I was supposed to. So at this point in time, it was about 6 months. It was like the last 6 months of my drinking career. And I started working night shift thinking that it would keep me out of the bars. I voluntarily switched to night shift. And what ended up happening is I ended up drinking more because when I would get off work, there was a bar restaurant thing right here in town that serves breakfast at 7 a.m. and breakfast and alcohol. So I would get off work and I would go there and I'd have breakfast and beers and then shots. And then before I know it, it's 11 in the morning and I got to go to sleep because I got to get up at 5 in the afternoon, to get up and get ready to go to work. And then, then I'm up at 4, 3:30, 4, and I'd start drinking and I'd be drunk before I went to work. And I would get off on my weekend that I worked. I would get off Sunday morning, and that was football season, and I would go hang out with, I'd tell my girls, because every weekend that I got off, that I worked, when I got off on Sunday, they were with me. So I told them, hey, I'm going to get off work. I'm going to go out to breakfast with my friends. We're going to go watch football, the first football game, the noon game. And then I'll pick you up at 3 after the game. And then they would be with me for 3 days. Well, 3 o'clock turned into 4 o'clock, one week. And then 4 o'clock turned into 5 o'clock the next week. And then before I knew it, it's like 7 o'clock, Sunday fun day. I'm getting off work after working 4 12s overnight. I get off and I'm drunk as hell by the time I have to go pick up my daughters. And one day my daughter was just like, I texted her, I'm like, hey, I won't be there till 7. She's like, you know what, just don't even bother coming. Just don't even bother picking us up anymore. Just do your own thing and just leave us alone. And I was like, fudge. Like, shit, I really got to do something. So, winter in the Midwest, yeah. So, that's when my embarrassment set in, the shame set in, because I love my daughters more than anything in the world. And I never wanted to be portrayed as my father, who was never home. He would always work all day and then he'd go to the bar, he'd come home and go to bed. That was his routine. I never ever wanted to be compared to him. So at this point I was like, this was probably about 3 months before I decided to go to rehab, 3 months before quarantine hit. And that, then I was just like really spiraling out of control, and I was very rarely seeing them because I was either working too much. Thank you very much for that heart. I appreciate that. Nikki Nation. Nikki, you didn't have to do that. So then quarantine hit, and they laid us off of work. So I was going to get sub pay. I was going to get unemployment. Like, I was going to make the same amount of money that I would make going to work, just sitting at home. And they were calling, the government was saying, 4 weeks we were going to be quarantined. And I'm like, fuck, let's party. So I went to Costco. I got toilet paper. I got some snacks. And then I went to the liquor store. I spent $600 on Tito's and beer and all kinds of stuff. And I just went on a 2-week bender, and it was horrible. It was so bad. I was doing some really dumb stuff. So I had finally had enough, and I just realized that I was gonna die. I was gonna die one way or the other. And I just picked up the phone. We have a 1-800 number at work, and I picked up the phone and called, and within 23 hours of me making that phone call, I was standing outside the door of a rehab in Palm Beach, Florida. So I had no idea, Nikki. I would love to have that conversation with you. April 10th will be 2 years. April 10th will be 2 years that I'm sober. Yeah, I agree, Joanne. But so what happened with that, and to put it all into perspective, I had been doing therapy for 3 years prior to quarantine. So I had been healing all of my past hurts, all my traumas, all my abandonment issues, all my insecurities. Like, for 3 years, I had been really working diligently, or at least 2 of those 3 years, I had been working really diligently on healing my past. So by the time that by the time that 6 months came about, the last 6 months when my daughter was pretty much writing me off, I no longer really needed to drink, because I was drinking to forget. I was drinking to not feel my past. I was drinking, just to bury my emotions away. But what I found is that I no longer needed to drink, but I had drank for so long, so hard, that I now became an alcoholic. I now had to have the booze just to survive. I mean, the last day that I drank before I got on, because it's the last day you're going to drink, right? I'm going to rehab. This is my last hurrah. I'm going to go out in style. I was up for 36 hours straight. I drank a handle of Tito's, so a half gallon of Tito's, a fifth of Parabay rum, and a case of Michelob Ultra. Didn't sleep. Got on the plane, had 6 shooters of Crown Royal, got to rehab, which was the scariest moment of my life ever, standing outside that rehab. I was never, ever so scared in my whole life. Walked into rehab. They check you in, take your blood pressure. They give you a breathalyzer, and I blew a .258, and they called an ambulance and took me to the hospital because they thought I was going to kill myself. They thought I was going to die of DTs. Yes, my therapist knew. Well, I mean, I never admitted. I didn't really know I was an alcoholic until after rehab. I didn't, nothing really made sense at that point in my life because I was drunk all the time. Pretty much every waking hour I was drunk. Only like 6 months into sobriety do things like really start to clear up and you can start to put the pieces together. Did I really understand what was going on? Caitlin, I bet addiction created roadblocks in therapy. Not really. I've always been this person. I've always been very open and honest. I've always been willing to share my shit in therapy, you know. Yeah, I've never had an issue opening up in therapy. Yeah, okay, Nikki. Yeah, I'm glad you quit. Yeah, I probably wasn't gonna. I mean, the only times that I've ever thought about killing myself was when I was really in those deep, dark days right after my marriage had ended, and I just didn't know what to do. And there was only a couple times that I've actually was on the verge or felt like I was on the cliff. But even at the end of my drinking career, I never really thought about suicide. I'm a case manager for drug and alcohol cases. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's got to be. Did it keep you from feeling it all to heal? No, it didn't. Actually, I felt more when I was drunk. I was way more emotional. Way more emotional than the guy that you've gotten to know here. I'd get drunk and I'd get really sappy. How do I convince her that being sober is prison? In prison doesn't count as help. Sure, it counts. Why doesn't it help? Doesn't it count? Every day sober counts. It doesn't matter where you're at. Every day you're not using or drinking counts. So don't undermine. I would say don't undermine her. It sounds to me like lifting her up right now is everything that she needs. Beating her down, like with telling her that sober and in prison doesn't count. You're not doing good enough. You need to do this. You need to do that. Have grace for her. Have understanding. Try and put yourself in her shoes with where she comes from or what she's dealing with or what happened to her in her past, why she's coping, why she's using. Thank you, Nikki. Much love to you too. Yeah, she needs validation and support. You need to lift her up right now and hold on to her and hold her tight and tell her everything's going to be okay. Attacking her and belittling her and undermining her is only going to push her farther away. Okay. But here's the thing, you have to understand where she's coming from. There's a reason why she's coping, there's a reason why she's using. She may not think she needs help. Then there's nothing you can do. But lead by example. If you're leading your life the way that you want her to lead her your if you're leading your life the way that you want her to lead her life, then she's going to start to see, hey, mom's got a nice car, hey, mom's got a nice house, hey, mom's going on vacation, hey, this life looks a hell of a lot better than this life that I'm living right now. The unfortunate truth is that sometimes they just don't get help. My therapist, who I think is the most amazing woman in the world, she helped me save my own life. She helped uncover this man that you see today, this man that I never knew that I could be. She helped me. I owe this lady the world. She's so great at what she's done, what she does. She is an amazing theologian when it comes to the Bible, an amazing psychologist, an amazing life experience. Like, I can't give her enough accolades. Her daughter was an alcoholic. She couldn't even save her daughter. Her daughter ended up dying at 32 years old. A year and a half ago, her daughter died from drinking, and there was nothing she could do to save her. Hello, how are you? It's drugs and alcohol are a vicious cycle. I'm not saying you do. I'm just trying to paint a picture of how you should be treating her. Hello, Sherry. How are you? I have breath. I'm winning. Every day that we wake up with breath in our lungs, we're winning. It's a great start. We can only go up. No, you're just enabling. You're just enabling. You're just enabling. If you keep hounding them, if you keep pressuring them, you're just enabling them to use. Just do you ever like raising your kids? If you guys have kids and they're acting out, they're misbehaving, just ignore them. Doesn't that seem to help a lot when you're raising kids? When you're interacting with them, when you're yelling at them, when you're engaging with them as they're acting out, they just keep acting out because they're getting your attention. They want attention, bad attention, good attention. They want attention. You choose how you react to them. Uh, hang on. We're in a minute. Sherry has a question that she asked last night. Texted me last night after the live, and I asked her to hang on till tonight so we could talk about it. It's a very good topic. I did enable when she went to prison. She hadn't spoken. We hadn't spoken over a year. Until someone wants to heal and change. Renee, so I did enable when she went to prison. We hadn't spoken. I don't know. You can't enable, and you just need to be there. You need to set the example. You need to be there. You need to be a safe place. When she needs you, you need to be there. You could put boundaries in place. No alcohol at your house. If she wants to come see you, she needs to be sober or whatever. Maybe she doesn't need to be sober, but she can't bring alcohol with her. She cannot be using at your house. That could be a great boundary. You guys could do, if she needs money, you could pay her to clean your house. You could do, you could do activities with her at home, only at your house, so she needs to come to you. Like, you could put boundaries in place for her to adhere to. Those might help. She might come and hang out with you for a few days or spend a week with you, but she needs to know that she needs to be sober. She can't bring anything with her. If she can follow those boundary rules, then she can come stay with you. Once she breaks that boundary rule, you have to be disciplined enough to kick her out. Simple as that. That's even worse. I hope that the child is with you, I assume, or you have custody or something of the sort. But it doesn't, just because there's a child involved, you need to even more so set those boundaries for a healthy atmosphere for the child. He can't keep having his drunk mom or whatever, high mom, coming in and out of his life, wreaking havoc. You have to have those boundaries set in place. Hey, if you want to come stay with us, you need to do X, Y, and Z. If you can't follow those rules, those rules are not too much to ask. They may think that it is, but it's not. Well, who else is going to take him? I would get into counseling yourself, honestly. I would get into counseling yourself and start addressing the issues as to why your daughter hates you, or why you think she hates you, or there's always two sides to every story. We all have a part in whatever happens, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, nobody is exempt from a failed relationship. So, yeah, therapy literally saved my life. So, therapy and my dog. So I would say set boundaries. Set boundaries, get into therapy, provide a safe place for her to come when she's willing to come, and just don't engage. You're the only one who's never left. So she's hardest on me, like she's trying to push you away or something. Yeah, it could be. Resentment. She's probably super insecure. She doesn't think she deserves love. She probably doesn't deserve the attention that you do give her. She probably feels very unworthy. So I could see that for sure. And it's just easier to push everybody away than to feel. She probably doesn't want to feel her feelings because no addict wants to, no alcoholic wants to. Hi, how are you? And that's probably really hard on her, especially a daughter. She needs to get help. I'm surprised in prison they're not offering some sort of therapy or doing something of the sort. If she's unwilling to get help, if she's unwilling to change, then there's nothing you can do. I don't know, because I've been through it. Maybe it's my seasonal allergies. I'm getting stuffed up. I was good earlier. I don't know what the hell happened. I need my Flonase. I was good until I walked in the door. I appreciate you telling me what you're telling me. I mean, it's a safe place here. Do you feel like we've talked enough about it, Renee? Do you want to move on to a different subject? Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. Be careful with Flonase. I do it once a day. Is that too much? Maybe you need the thirst trap. I got more of those coming. Actually, I got a really good one coming that I thought about today. I happened to stumble across today. It's going to be so funny. Okay, so Sherry, are you still in here? Sherry, if you want to change the subject, go for it. It can cause permanent problems. So what do you, as an RN, what do you suggest? Because I was told that I should do Flonase once a day and Zyrtec once a day for a month. And if that doesn't help, then I should get a shot. April, if you're in here. Okay, often discussed here, walking that path with God as a divorcee. Thoughts on waiting for marriage? Meaning having sex? Is that what you mean? I assume that's what you mean. All the nurses in the room got your back. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Sherry asked what our thoughts are on saving ourselves for marriage again, as divorcees, as, whatever, born-again Christians, whatever you feel. I'm all for... I mean, it's not like you don't know what sex is or what it's supposed to be, right? I'll just say this. I'm not having any sort of relations at this point, and it's been a while. But I'm doing that because I don't want to skew my judgment when it comes to finding my forever person. And I will wait. And that's why I tell people to wait or to keep your pants on early on in relationships, because I believe that physical connection that you have, if you have it too early, it can skew your thoughts on how great a person is or how compatible a person is for you, just because you've already engaged in that physical connection. If you want to wait, if you really believe that in order to find your godly person who wants to walk in faith with you, I think it's admirable of you to decide to wait. And I don't think you are missing out on anyone, because there are people out there who want to do the same thing. And I found 2 dating sites, actually, because I was coaching a person maybe a month ago. I was coaching a lady who wanted this specific wanted help with this specific thing. I am not, me personally, I'm probably not going to. Okay, if I found a person that I really liked, we had the compatibility, we had the emotional connection, and she came to me and she said, I want to wait till marriage, I would wait. I'm indifferent when it comes to waiting. I don't necessarily want to wait, or I don't think, you know what I mean? But if she said, hey, I want to wait, I would be fine with it because it's been short of the relationship that I had at the end of last summer. It's been, I had like a 2-month, 3-month relationship. So within those 2 or 3 months, I was physically active, but it had been like 3 years. So, yeah, I think it's personal, but I think it's very admirable, and I think God really enjoys when people do that. And I think if you're our age, you already know what sex is, the physical acts of it and the feelings of it. But I think once you have that physical and emotional connection with someone where sex isn't just physical, it's more emotional, then it's worth so much more. And that's really why I'm waiting, because anything less than an emotional connection, when it comes to that, I've already experienced that, and I never want to experience anything less. It doesn't do it for me anymore, so I'm more than happy to wait. I think it's very telling if a man or woman wants to have sex very early on in the relationship. I think it shows immaturity. I think it shows emotional unavailability. I think it shows their priorities on physicality and not longevity. Correct, Caitlin. Physical connection can trick us into emotional and mental connection. Absolutely. Invest in toys. Jeez. Sherry, what kind of conversation have you gotten me into? Agree. Sure. Yeah, I don't. According to the Bible, it really does no good because we've already done the act. Our virginity is lost. But if you want to get closer to God and you really want to find a person, then so be it. Do it. Let me hang on one sec. Let me grab my paper. I actually had. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so there's 2 apps that are specifically designed around celibacy or whatever, people waiting. One of the apps is called the Sexless Tribe. The other app is called Tender Meets, like Tinder Meets, but it's called Tender Meets. Those are 2 apps that are designed specifically for celibacy, or like there's another app, I forget the name of it, and if I find it I'll share it with you guys, but it's another app like specifically designed for older people who are traveling, who travel for like who've retired and travel the country in RVs and stuff like that alone. I forget what that one's called, but so those two dating sites, or those 2 dating apps, are designed specifically for people who want to wait till marriage. My husband and I were both divorcees. We didn't wait till we were. I'm all for waiting. I think if you could solidify the emotional connection before the physical connection, you're going to be much better off. I know my ex-wife and I got divorced, but we were together for 20 years. We were married for 17. We waited for like 4 months when we first started dating. And yeah, I think it was a good thing. It's easy to find sex. It's easy to have sex. You could literally pull up an app on your phone and have someone within an hour if you really wanted to. For no, like, just consensual. Just join. Sarah, they are the Sexless Tribe and Tender Meats. I really didn't think waiting to know someone who truly loves me. Who truly loves you? Do you truly love yourself? Do you know what you need to feel truly loved? You say you're waiting for someone to truly love me, and that sounds very codependent. Like I'm waiting for the one. I'm not making fun of you, I promise. I've learned that when you have this idea of this magical, mystical love that's just going to show up one day and it's going to take care of all your problems, that's a very codependent attitude. You're better off knowing exactly how to love yourself, the way, love, to be able to love yourself, and then set expectations, or not expectations, but boundaries for people and make them meet that. Hi, Nikki. How are you? I think it's best to find the emotional connection first. And if you tell a guy, if you're looking for a masculine man who's on his purpose, grounded, knows where he's going in life and what he's doing, has all his ducks in a row, if you tell him that hey, I enjoy sex, I enjoy the physical connection, I just want to wait, I want us to solidify the emotional connection first before we go there, any good dude is going to be like, all right, cool. All right, whatever, we're good. Because he's going to be he's probably already waited for, whatever, a set amount of time. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, sex isn't the driving factor in him wanting a feminine woman. Sex is part of it, a piece of it. A guy who is just out to get laid, waiting is going to weed out all those dudes. Nicole. It takes an enormous amount of work to learn to love yourself. You have to unwrite all the bullshit that society's told you. I didn't call you Nikki, Sherry. I didn't. Get out. You guys, don't start your crap. Wait, what? You are restoring all of my hope right now. There's guys out here. I'm not the only one, I promise you that. There's a lot of good. So here's the thing though. There's a lot of nice guys too that are going to play the long game, that are going to, that you need to weed those guys out. A nice guy is going to be codependent on you. A nice guy is going to need you in his life. He's going to consume your attention, and he's going to be very open to doing whatever you want. He's going to be very accommodating. He's going to become very attached once you do have sex and you do solidify that emotional connection. He's going to be very all about you. You don't want a nice guy. This is why you don't want a nice guy. The simp guy, so it goes simp, nice guy, gentleman, fuckboy. You want a gentleman. or somewhere right in between gentleman and nice guy. But the simp guy is gonna just, he's gonna be very feminine. He's gonna do everything and anything for you, whatever you say. He's gonna be like your dog. The nice guy, just explain. The gentleman is going to be your masculine man. He's going to be on purpose. He's not going to have a hard time telling you no when it's just something that doesn't work. He's going to lead by example, lead with effort, and he's going to keep you safe emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, and spiritually. Those are going to be priorities to him. But he's not going to cater to you all the time. He's not going to coddle you and your emotions and your insecurities. He's going to work with you, and he's going to provide a safe place for you to just be you while he's doing his shit, while he's on his purpose, while he's providing for the family, while he's, doing his shit. And then you have the fuckboy who's just out to get laid. You ladies need to learn to decipher all four of those. Passive and passive aggressive. Yes. I just told you what was wrong with the nice guy. I look confused, Caitlin? What are you talking about? And that's true, Renee. Some guys just don't know. Some guys don't have the self-awareness to know what love is. That they don't know how to take care of themselves. All they know is they were taught is don't be a pussy, suck it up, work harder, don't show emotions. That's all they were ever taught. Whoa. Caitlin, what were you talking about? I look confused over the girls' names. Oh, I didn't. I know Sherry and I know Nicole. What can you do to encourage someone to get help with their addiction? Be a safe place. We went through this. We could touch on it again. We're in the Grace. Hang tight. We'll go back to that. Start one. Correct, Caitlin. The nice guy is not going to create healthy growth. He's not going to create a place for you to be, for you to bloom, for that feminine flower to bloom. He's not going to provide a place for that. He's going to be very agreeing. He's going to, he's not going to tell you what you need to hear, and he's not going to tell you no. Indiana farm boy, that's me. Not a farm boy, but construction worker. Pretty much the same. Oh. I'm laughing because these two in my cooking live on Friday were starting crap. I am definitely a gentleman because I have no problem telling you no, or no problem giving you constructive criticism. And I'm not doing it to hurt your feelings. I'm doing it because I love you. And if it hurts your feelings, that's on you. I was the nice guy, though. This is why I can talk about this. I was the fuckboy at one point after my marriage ended and I got through the initial grieving process and the divorce. The divorce and the depression. I became that fuckboy. I'm not proud of it, but it's like a stage, I guess. I don't know. But it happened. And then I became the simp. And then I became, then I evolved into the nice guy. And then I realized, I was getting walked on and taken advantage of. And I was always catering to someone else. And then I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to figure out myself first. I don't give a shit about dating. I gave up dating for 2 years while I was building this dude. But I knew that if I was going to attract the type of woman that I wanted, which is most likely in the 1% of women, then I was going to have to be a 1% man. And in the process of me building this man for my daughters and for a future significant other, I realized that I didn't need anybody in my life. It was going to be an addition to my life, and it was going to help me prosper, help us prosper our lives to a level that we couldn't do by ourselves. Because I do believe that, and people, the hyper independent women really disagree with me on this, but I don't believe that a man and a woman separately can reach their fullest potential in life without finding a partner that they can just catapult and elevate each other to levels that are just beyond and what any single person can do. What's the 1% I'm looking for? It's personal. I don't share it, and you shouldn't share it. It should be very personal. You should have your checklist, your compatibility checklist, and then you should have your deal breakers, and you should have your wants, and the things that you would love to have in a partner. And then you should be looking for that, and you should never ever share that with anyone. Don't ever share your list with anyone when you build it. Thank you, Nicole. I believe that we are intended for relationships. I do. It's just so hard. There's so many broken people out in the society nowadays. I'm starting to see people are really willing, and men as well, because men aren't going to be in these comments like you guys are, but I will get DMs. I will have guys come up to me in person out, that follow me on social media in my local area or at work. I've had guys come up to me at work and say, "Hey, dude, can we talk?" Men are going to be more discreet about it because we're still looked at as wimps, or whatever adjective you want to use to describe it when we feel. And I'm trying to, one of the components of my platform and my content is to normalize men being vulnerable, or providing a safe place for a woman to come, or being able to go to therapy and talk about their shit and heal their traumas and understand that it's okay, and really help them grasp the fact that vulnerable component will just elevate them to a man that they never knew they could be, because that is the missing component. A man can be a hard ass and a badass and a violent man all he wants. We're very capable of doing that. We're very capable of picking shit up and moving it around. But it's the missing component is the vulnerability, is the emotions, is when those two things come together in a man's life. Watch out, that motherfucker's gonna do some great stuff. Yeah, not everybody does, but a lot of them in the comments, I don't think that's accurate. I think that men are more private with their vote. That's what I mean. That's what I meant, Nicole. They're more private. That's why I see them in my DMs. That's why I see them in person coming up to me. I won't see them in the comments of a live like this. Very rarely. I know we had a couple. Dennis was in here. I don't know if he still is. Had a couple of guys. Who's the other gentleman? Bo? He used to always be in here. Thank you for the fire, Red Sox love. So many has a weakness. I think, no, it can be taken too far, right? Because, and here, I'm going to explain this, and you guys can agree or disagree. I don't care if you do. I'm not going to say I don't care. I'm going to say I don't care if you do disagree. I think a man should be an emotional safe place for his woman to come and talk about her feelings. She, in turn, should be an emotional safe place for him to come and talk about his day-to-day normal bullshit feelings. His past traumas, his deepest, darkest secrets, those you don't need to know about. Those he needs to go to a therapist and hash it out with. Because, and you're going to say, I want to be his person. You do not want to be his shoulder to cry on. You do not want to see him being his most emotional, vulnerable self, because it is not masculine at all. And whether you like it or not, it will start to detract from your attraction to him. If he is too vulnerable too often, it will take away from his masculinity. It'll take away from the way that you look at him. So he should be able to come to you and talk to you about his day-to-day feelings, his vulnerabilities, his concerns, his emotions. He should be able to do that. But when he's healing his dark stuff from his past, whether it was before you or after you, he should be able to do that on his own, and you should not have a say in how he goes about it or what is going on in the frame of his own therapy. Now, you can disagree, and you probably will, but that is what I teach men, and it seems to work amazingly. That level of vulnerability is a turnoff. Thank you, Nicole. That's exactly what I meant. But if he comes to you and he says, hey, babe, he comes to you one night, I'm aggravated, my boss, blah, 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 this coworker, whatever, right? Whatever, he can just come to you with his day-to-day stuff. But, and you guys have to be cognizant of, if you really care about him and he doesn't know where the level of vulnerability needs to stop, you guys have to tell him, like, hey, babe, I really enjoy that you're this vulnerable or that you're being vulnerable with me, but this type of vulnerability, I don't need to know. I need you to go to therapy or go hire a life coach, or I don't need to see this deep, dark stuff that you're really feeling or you haven't felt out since you were a child. I am here for you and I will help you in any way, but you have to be able to tell him no. Tell him no without devaluing him, emasculating him. I don't know, whatever other word I want to. Yeah. Communication, Sherry. I agree with the part about losing attraction, but how do we know his triggers? If he starts bawling about something, you should tell him, baby, I'm here for you, but I'm not qualified to handle this type of vulnerability. I love that you came to me with this, but I think we need to find you a therapist. Let me ask you ladies this, how attractive is it if a man goes to therapy, or if you're on a first date with a man and he says he has been in therapy for 2 years or something? Is it an attraction or is it a turnoff? I had to admit to myself I didn't see a man's worth before because I was hyper-independent. Hyper-independence, we could talk about that too. So you have three dependencies, right? I think that's true for both, Brian. There are some things men shouldn't have to be. And yeah, you're right. Incredible amount of self-awareness, which is super attractive, right? It's attractive in women too, or it's attractive for grounded men too. Like if a girl comes to me and like she's super open and self-aware and self-accepting, and she says, yeah, I went through blah blah blah, but I've done like 2 years of therapy, and this is, can have a conversation about her problems, what they were, and how she fixed them. Like that is just so reassuring. Like, thank God, like this woman gets it. Like I don't have to deal with all this unhealed bullshit. Like that is a major plus. Yes, I try and tell men that. It totally depends on why he's in therapy. Do tell Alicia, please. I would love to have that dialogue, because it'll only help me help men. And that's, I don't want to engage with you because I disagree with you. I want to know what you mean by that, so I can, if I need to tweak the way that I'm presenting this to other men. Why is it easier for a woman to move on than it is for a man? That's subjective. If a man has, I think it's whoever has a insecure attachment style, it's going to be very hard for them to move on, man or woman. Ah, Gene, that makes complete sense. Good for you, sassiness. Took me longer in therapy to recover from my first marriage than I was married. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, you're welcome, James. Yeah, therapy mean attractive is holding himself accountable. I'm assuming that was the last word. It's a turn on when they can speak on emotions without anger. Yes, they are emotionally available. They're emotionally secure. Why? What's he doing? If he is in therapy because he's been an abuser, or if he is in therapy for past hurts. So, does that mean he's written off if he was a past abuser? And it's fine if that's your opinion. I totally get it. There's no right or wrong here. If your deal breaker is you were a physically or emotionally abusive person prior to, regardless of therapy or not, that's your deal breaker, I totally get it. That's 100%. Well, I didn't know anything was going on. I would have. He commented on one of my posts yesterday, and we had a short little conversation in the comments. I didn't know anything was going on. I've been in therapy for almost 40 years. I will be too. I've been in therapy for 6 now, and okay. And I don't see any stopping in the future, short of not having insurance or something like that. But even then, I'll still go once a month. It's too good. Abusers can heal and change too. Abusers have usually been victims themselves. I agree with that. I think you mean voluntary therapy or court appointed. Yeah. Yeah, if they have to go, if they're being forced to go. Finding the right therapist is hard. Thank you, Sky, for that, because that's 100% true. If you are going to therapy and you have not found here's the deal. When you start going to therapy, you need to interview therapists like you would be interviewing employees to work for you, because that is what they're doing. They need to work for you to help you get this shit rewired, to help you figure out what your cognitive dissonance is and help you rewire your reality. So you need to be trusting in them. You need to vibe with them. You need to be open and honest and vulnerable with them. If you're not willing to do that, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then your therapy is not going to work. It's not going to do anything. You're going to be wasting your money. So it's very important that you find a therapist that you connect with, that you vibe with, that you are willing to be you're willing to be vulnerable with. Because the reality is, all that shit that you're hiding in your head from the world, we all have that. We all know what that is. What you're hiding from the world, that stuff needs to come out if you're going to be your best self. Because all that stuff in your head is stealing energy from you every day. And I always speak about viewing your energy as currency. And when you wake up in the morning and you have those past traumas, those past hurts, all that past bullshit, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're giving your debt of energy to your past. Immediately as soon as you wake up. Now your energy and how much energy you have for that day is based on your sleep, your eating habits, your exercise habits. If you have a full tank, half of that shit is going back to your past. So if you truly want to live in the moment, and you look forward to the future, you have to heal your past first. You can't focus on all these goals and investments moving forward when you still have shit holding you back. So I think that's when you truly find your inner peace, and this is the place that I'm at in life now, where it is just so amazingly peaceful and calm, and there's no chaos. And if there is chaos, I leave and I go somewhere else. And if there is anxiety, I leave and I go. And if there's drama, I leave and I go somewhere else. I don't really give a shit what's going on in the world. If it doesn't pertain to me, I do not care. I stay in my control circle. I don't give a shit. I care and I have empathy about Russia and Ukraine. There's nothing that I can do to change the fact that that is happening right now. There's nothing that I can do to change the fact that, gas prices are the way they are. There's nothing I can do to change the fact of what someone thinks about me. I don't care. There's nothing I can do. I'm just being the very truest Brian that I could be for this world. If they don't like it, if they judge it, if they're insecure about it, if they project about it, that's on them. There's nothing I can do to change their mind. I waste no energy on anything else other than me and my moment, my tribe, and where I'm going moving forward. So, that long-winded answer or explanation is why you should find a therapist that you can be vulnerable with, because they will help you deal with all your past shit and help you move forward. I literally sit around guys at work that talk about global politics, talk about the war, talk about the reason for high gas prices, and I just look at them and like, why? Why are you even wasting your breath, your thought process? Why? There's literally nothing. If you want to change the world, you could start at the local level of politics. If you want to change the world, start leading by example. My therapist is leaving, now on a waiting list. I'm sorry to hear that, Amy. And it's imperative that you find a therapist that has similar life experience. If you're 40 years old and you've been divorced twice, and you go see a therapist who's 26 years old and fresh out of college, they're not going to help you very often. If you've been molested or raped or abused mentally or physically or sexually abused or domestic violence or whatever, and you go to a therapist who has no life experience in any of that, or doesn't have the time under their belt to understand those types of traumas, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're wasting your money and your time and your efforts, because they're not going to be able to help you. Grace, yes, so good. Protect your peace, yes. And yeah, they can't. The control circle. I haven't done any content on the control circle. It's on my list of content to create, but the control circle is a very important piece. If you Google control circle, you'll see what I mean. It's a 3-ring circle, and in your control circle are just the things that you can control: what you eat, how, when you go to bed, if you work out or not, if you're paying attention to your mental health, physical health, financial health. The immediate things in your life that you can control is all you can control. Now, you can influence your future by making investments. Those would be your influence circle, which is just outside of your control circle. I forget what some of the other ones were. But those are, your control circle is all that you have control over. Nothing that you say or do or how much energy you put out in the world is going to change what Vladimir Putin is doing right now. No matter what you do or say or how much energy you put out in the world is going to change the gas price on that pump. Nothing that you do. The only thing that you can change is your global your local politics, whatever that may be. The things that you do on a daily basis, that's all you have control over, and that's all you should be worried about. It doesn't have to be exact. No, let's not put up walls that keep you from finding the person. But if you're, I don't know what your age, I'm not asking your age, but if you're 42 years old, you should probably find someone who's 42 years old or right in that wheelhouse, because then they've at least had the life experience of, culture, the culture experience that you've been through. You can change your attitude for sure. Look at this guy, D-Star. Erica, I'm so happy that you're back. I was so worried about you. I didn't know what happened to you, but I love you, my friend. I hope you're well. And I'm so happy to see you're back on TikTok. If you guys don't follow him, D-Stat_74, please go follow him. Him and I have a lot, very similar content. If you like mine, you'll like his even more. And here's a very simple way of you can ask for consultations with a therapist to see. Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is ask for a consultation. You're not committing to a therapist if you ask, hey, I want a consultation with a therapist. And if you don't like that therapist, they're not going to be upset. Hey, I'm just not vibing with you. Can I try someone else? Simple as that. Here's a very easy example of your energy. So let's say that this is your bottle of energy, right? Now, if you were in a perfect world and you were sleeping right and you were eating correctly and you were exercising, you were getting your 8 hours of sleep, you didn't have very much stress in your life, and you had no past hurts or traumas that you needed to heal. You were just perfectly in your present time and space, and that was it. You woke up in the morning and you had a full bottle of water. There's a full one. You had a full bottle of water. This full bottle of water represents your energy. Your energy that you have to put out into the day at hand. So if you wake up and you are only getting 6 hours of sleep, you're eating McDonald's twice a day, you're not exercising, and you're stressed out, and you have past hurts that you haven't healed, now when you woke up in the morning, you have already gave your energy to your past and your lack of sleep, your lack of eating healthy, your lack of exercise, and your stressful place in life. Now you wake up with that much energy. It's not a lot of energy to go out throughout the day with, right? Could be even worse, and you wake up with nothing, and then you have to try and make it through the day on zero energy. So this is why I say use your energy like it's currency. If you were walking down the street and you had $100 of singles in your pocket and you needed that to get through the day, are you just going to hand that to anyone and everyone and leave nothing for you to get through the day? So I give my energy to God first and foremost. I give what I have left after that to myself, and then I give it to my daughters, and after that I give it to my purpose. Those are my 4 priorities in life. That's where my energy goes right now because I have none. And I work really hard at getting my sleep. I work really hard in the gym. I focus really hard on my eating. And I pretty much have no stress in my life because I have healed all my past stuff, and I really refuse to keep people around or situations or circumstances around that are going to stress me out. So I try and wake up every day with enough energy to really just excel at the day and just win the day. You wonder why when you get halfway through the day, you are absolutely exhausted. You are just burnt out. You want to just go home and go to bed. You want to climb into bed. People who are healed, people who are at peace, people who are firing on all cylinders, they don't think like that. At noon, I don't think, man, I just want to go home and go to bed. I'm thinking, like, how much more shit can I get done today? What can I do to make my life better? What can I do to make my daughters feel loved? What can I do to push my purpose forward a little more? It's because I have so much energy to give. Now, I'm trying my hardest to expel all that energy by the time I lay my head on my pillow at night so I can just, get a good night's sleep. But that's what I mean about energy. Gotcha, buddy. I understand that. And good for you for having the self-awareness that you needed to take a break. I really admire that about you. You're very self-aware and very self-accepting, and that's why I relate to you so much. And I enjoy your content so much, and hopefully we'll get to meet one day. Daily gratitude is number 1. Daily gratitude is scientifically proven now. Gratitude as you wake up, gratitude before you go to bed is the single best thing you can do to change your life. Immediate changes. Meditation and prayer, absolutely. Somebody asks, can I ask from a man's perspective, what's up with ghosting and gaslighting? It is so hurtful. That is simply an insecure, emotionally unavailable person, and you should look at ghosting and gaslighting as your saving grace. if well, so gaslighting is different, but ghosting is emotional unavailability. So if somebody ghosts you, thank your lucky stars. Thank God. Be appreciative of that they ghosted you because they're emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature, and that relationship would have been hell on you. So thank them. Gaslighting is just gaslighting is control. Gaslighting is manipulation. I mean, it comes from people who are wounded. It comes from people who are hurt, and don't have the self awareness. Maybe we're taught to interact with other people like that because some people are just raised like that. So, I mean, you need to learn about gaslighting. You need to be cognizant of it and aware when it's time to set boundaries and understand that manipulators don't like boundaries. So if you're getting a reaction because you set a boundary, then you are probably hitting the nail on the head that you're being manipulated. Hi, Becky. How are you? Okay, if that works for you. And that's the thing, like 8 hours a day, I don't need 8 hours a day. I need 7 hours a day to feel like 100%, but I only probably usually get 6. So I take a nap during the day. But I'm working at it. I know that 7 hours, if I hit the 7 hour mark, I am sharp as a tack that day. Lizzie said it's usually a 50 call job. I don't know what that means. I took 85 customers. Oh, I was mentally drained by quitting time. Yeah, that's got to be hard. I can tell you as an RN, it's easy to empty my cup at work. I'm a work in progress. We all are. I'm just giving you visual examples of how you can fill your cup more, how you can be cognizant of where you're putting your energy to. How, you guys, I'm sure, have been in a relationship with someone who is very obsessive, maybe very clingy, maybe emotionally abusive, and you know how draining it is. That is just them emptying your cup. Yes, you guys absolutely should be thankful that someone ghosted you. You should be thankful that you didn't fall into a flipping relationship with them because it would have ended horribly. You're welcome, Jay Quinn. There's a lot of reasons people gaslight. Yeah, ghosting would definitely a person with a what is it? It's not insecure attachment. It is, what is the attachment, Caitlin? Tell me if I'm having a brain fart. My brain's tired. Anxious, yes, anxious attachment. Somebody who ghosts you, if it really affects you, then you're probably an anxious attachment. Probably insecure, probably codependent, probably have abandonment issues. That's everything that I was. That's all the shit that I had to heal. Like, it took me 3 years to heal all that. Just to give you, I probably could have did it in 2, because the first year I was kind of just messing around. But I think if you really, depending on the severity of what you need to heal, the severity of your life traumas, experiences, if you really don't have a lot, maybe you just need to heal from one relationship. You had a good childhood, but one relationship really messed you up, maybe 6 months in therapy. If you have a lot, maybe 18 months to 24 months in therapy to really, and I'm talking every week. I'm too. Party of two. I'm with you. I had abandonment issues, something fierce from my dad. And it played, I didn't even know until I healed that one over the winter when I had my broken arm. I was going to therapy 3 days a week. My therapist and I were working so hard, 3 days a week for 6 weeks straight, trying to figure out where the hell this abandonment issue was coming from. And I was hitting this wall, and I couldn't get past like age 16 or 15, 16 I think it was. And I ended up bringing this whole shoebox of old pictures from when I was a kid in, and we were going through the pictures, and finally I had this moment where I saw this picture, and I was like, oh, shit. She's like, what? I'm like, this. And I showed her the picture. I'm like, this was a time in my life when I was playing baseball, and my dad would never come to my games because he was either drinking or he was either working or at the bar. And when he would show up to get my games, he'd show up drunk. And I remember standing on second base, and there was a play, and I had made it to second base, and he's screaming like a maniac, drunk and belligerent. He might have been at the umps or something. Maybe I was called out. I don't remember the specific details. I just remember standing on second base and just looking at him being a moron, and I look at my mom, and it was just so embarrassing, and it was, all the other parents are there and all my friends, and it was like, fuck, man, why can't you just show up? Why am I not good enough for you to show up sober? Why am I not good enough for you just to show up, right? That abandonment issue, that abandonment of him not being there for me, played out through my whole life. It played out when I would break up with girlfriends. I would be very clingy. When my best friend Danny died, I had no idea how to heal the emotional trauma from him dying. When my ex-wife left, it just fucking destroyed me. And it took me hitting that low of almost killing myself to really scare myself enough to say, okay, dude, you gotta start healing. We gotta heal shit. We gotta do work. Any more than they can make their heart feel something. Good for you, Danielle. I'm glad to hear that. He unalived himself when he was supposed to move in with me and take care of him. I'm sorry to hear that, Lizzie. That's horrible. But that had nothing to do with you. I promise you that. I hope you know that. And the truth of the matter is, my dad didn't know what he was doing. My dad didn't know what he was doing. He was doing better than this long hair. He was doing better than his dad did, my grandpa. He was actually doing better as a dad, but it still was shitty. But he didn't know. And I didn't know to tell him. My mom didn't know any different. You're right, Caitlin. We do choose emotionally unavailable people. Now I won't. Absolutely not. If you're not emotionally available, if you can't tell me what you mean and mean what you say, if you can't have a deep conversation about us and where we're headed and things that are going on, I don't want anything to do with it. How could someone? What do you want to get a hold of me about? I try to talk to everybody, but I can't. There's just not enough time in the day. What do you need to talk to me about? Can you give me just a little synopsis? Be impeccable with your words, sassy asses. If you read one of my favorite books, and it's a book that besides the Bible, the four love languages with the second book, which is the fifth. I'm sorry, not the love languages. The 4 agreements with the second book, which is the 5th agreement. Read that book. The first agreement is be impeccable with your words. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Especially with guys, ladies, I'm telling you, he's not going to read your signs. He's not going to read your vibes. We are fixers. We are point A to B. If there's a problem, we want to fix it. We want to get it done. If you need something, tell us specifically. And if you really want to make it better, tell us how we can fix it or tell us what we can do. But to be vague and to not use your words impeccably is it's not helping your cause at all. Sure, Jay Quinn, absolutely. I think that God has someone out there for me too, but I'm not willing to waste energy on thinking about her. I pray for her. I pray for her and I continue to build myself into the best man that she's probably praying for or dreaming of. But I don't waste any time anymore thinking about her, or like obsessing over her or daydreaming about her. I just when she walks in front of me and I'm like, there you are. This is it. Like I want to know. I want that feeling. Hi Laurel Lee from New York. How are you? The only thing that we can do is just continue to build ourselves into the best people that we can be for that future significant other, if that is in the cards for us. And it's not always, so you just never know. I think it'll happen like that. Why are you laughing, Caitlin? Hi, Mary. How are you? I remembered your name without looking tonight. The Five Love Languages is an amazing book. Caitlin, why are you laughing? It may not happen just like that, but the truth of the matter is I'm not wasting any energy on obsessing over who she is. Yeah, so The Five Love Languages is an amazing book for self-awareness and for awareness of how your partners or your kids, for that matter, because I had my kids take the love language quiz, the teenage version of it, and it's really helped me be able to engage with both of my daughters because they share one love language. They share the love language of quality time, but their second love language, they differ. So it's really helped me be able to focus on each of them separately. But yeah, the love language book is a love language quiz, a love language book. Amazing, amazing material. Restocking on your rights at Costco. That is what I mean. So when I talk about finding your person on your path, that's exactly what I mean, is that comment right there. Like, I'm going to live my life the way that I live it. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to Costco. I'm going to go try new restaurants. I'm going to go to concerts. I'm going to whatever, right? Whatever you guys do, that's your path. I'm going to go hiking. I love to go hiking. I always go hiking by myself because I love to go hiking. I would love to have someone come with me hiking. They don't have to because I love going hiking by myself. But regardless, so this is my path in life, doing my life. I'm on my path. Sometimes people come into your path and they're crossing it. Sometimes they're just taking a detour. I want someone who's walking the same path with me or a similar path, right? That is my idea in my head. I'm just going to be doing my life and they're going to be doing something similar, like hiking, like trying a new restaurant, like whatever, going to a concert with a friend of theirs and I go to a concert with a friend of mine and we happen to bump into each other. That is what I mean by finding them on your path. Okay, be honest. If you see her like that and feel that, would you have the guts? Hell yes. Hell yes. I have no qualms about telling someone that I'm interested in them. And I don't care if they aren't interested in me because I understand now that my ideal woman or has these characteristics is different than 305 or 3.5 billion other men, and her compatibility is different than mine, and it is not a attack on my integrity or my, me as a man. It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with me. She's just not interested. Maybe she's not in the place to date. Maybe she is looking for a guy who's 6 foot tall. I'm only 5'9". Maybe she likes big dudes. Maybe she likes fat guys. Maybe she likes guys with hair. I don't know. But if she's not interested in me, I do not take that personal at all, ever. But if I'm interested in someone, I will absolutely ask. I'm working on being a better version of myself. God is showing me things I need to work on before. That's amazing. RT girl? Is that... What's RT? Is that Roll Tide or is that something else? What's that stand for? Hi, Lynn. How are you? Let things happen organically. Hi, Brandon. How are you? I don't, and if you, that's a very good indicator if you're dealing with insecurities or if you're dealing with anxious attachment. If you do approach someone and they just tell you simply they're not interested and you take that personally, that means you have more work to do on yourself. Simple as that. Like I said, there's any multitude of reasons why they're not interested. And if you read into that and start to concoct this story of why they might not be interested when they didn't specifically tell you any details, that's on you. Tammy, wait, Tammy's here? Hi, Tammy, how are you? Correct, absolutely. I am a good man for the woman who is I don't know what I was going. Yes, what Tammy said. So I got Brandon in here, Tammy in here. This is a good live. Thank you. Thank you guys for stopping in. If you give signs, why are you giving signs? We're not giving signs. We don't give signs because nobody reads signs. We speak impeccably. If you like someone, especially you women in here, if you like someone, make it known. Don't wait and don't give signs or hopefully he's going to feel your vibe, because he's not, and you're going to waste an opportunity. Simple as that. If you like, and you don't necessarily, and ladies, I'm not telling you that you have to go ask him out. All I'm saying to you is make it known that you're interested, however you want to do that. Subtly or aggressively, but make it known that you're interested. What does I'm conservative mean? Not fair, I'm conservative. If you give signs and they do nothing to you. You can be conservative all you want. If you're going to paint yourself into that corner and you're going to put yourself in that little box, then you're not going to reap any rewards of being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and, just go for what you want. Like if you find someone that's attractive or, I'm not saying I don't need... If you find someone you're interested in, maybe he's vulnerable, maybe he's a good dad, maybe he's works with you, maybe he's at the gym and he's, good looking and he's, you talk to him or you guys have conversations at the gym and you find him to be very pleasant in conversation, very respectful, very, he listens, and you find this, attraction towards him. Why would you not tell him? Why would you just like rub his arm and hopefully he's gonna get it? Because we're not. I'm just telling you, we're not. Can we all learn to be direct? Please learn to be direct. I only got a few more minutes and I gotta get off. I have to make a phone call. before I go to bed. It's okay to be rejected, but are you being rejected? It doesn't have anything to do with you. It just means you're one closer to the right one. I love that. I love that perspective, but the rejection word, take that out of there. You're not being rejected. You're just not the one for them. Like I said, maybe you are a tall, skinny, petite woman, and maybe they like big girls. You just don't know. Maybe you're blonde and they like brunettes. Maybe I don't know. But you're not the one for them. Simple as that. It's nothing to be insecure about. If you're insecure about about not being the one for them, then that's on you. Unless they're like, no, I don't like you because you're whatever. But okay, girl mom, the man makes the first move. Okay. Men are not scared to. Insecure men, unhealed men, men who... I'm not scared at all to approach a woman that I think is attractive. Because that's the first thing for men, is the attraction, right? Each man has his own thing that he finds attractive, whatever that might be. There's a million different attractions that men could have, but if I find a woman that's attractive, I have no problem going and talking to her, or asking her out to dinner, or to coffee, or whatever. If she says, no, I'm not interested, I say, okay, thank you, or whatever, thanks, appreciate it. I don't take that personal. There you go, girl. Stop waiting for him to make the first move. Who cares if you're Southern, if you're Northern, if you're from Asia, if you're from India? Who gives a shit? If you are interested in someone, make it known. They might be interested in you and just, they just don't want to make the move. I don't know. Just do it. I'm sure they do. So the visual part of it, let me preface that. I know I said that's the first initial attraction, but that's very surface level, and that could last a day. That could last an hour. Because if I find someone who's attractive and I go have a conversation with her and she is ignorant and standoffish or extremely reserved and can't have a conversation, it doesn't matter how good looking she is. It's a no for me. Lynn, I would work on that. You say you just can't. We are going to start taking the word can't and but out of our vocabulary from now on, so I don't want to hear that word that you can't, because you can if you really wanted to. If you wanted to learn how, if you wanted to heal the insecurities, if you wanted to heal the the low self-worth, or whatever is stopping you from being able to tell a man that you're interested in him, you can fix that. Whatever. Jason, hello, how are you, my friend? If you guys were in the live with me and Jason a few weeks ago, he's just stopped in to say hi. Whatever you believe to be true is your truth. Ask yourself if those beliefs are blocking love. Jason, I love your content, brother. You are so good at this. So work on the humiliation. What is that? I love that, Mary. Thank you. Shoot your shot. Becky, yes, shoot your shot. You'll never make the basket unless you take the shot. I'm doing great. I don't have to look no further. I appreciate that whipped coffee. Okay, so change your attachment to that. I was raised that the man pursues the woman. You have chosen to attach that ideal to yourself. That is your choice. That is your agreement with yourself. That is you putting more stock in the way that you were raised than the way you want to live your own life. Start by reading the book, The Four Agreements. Start there, Lynn. You're gonna Jason. I'm telling you, once your stuff takes off, you're gonna blow right past me, buddy. Because you are so clear and concise and so well spoken in your content. So, are you going to ask me out, or am I going to have to? Yes, take a hint from Tammy, manicured mom. I am absolutely good with my girls pursuing boys if they find some telling a guy that they're interested in them. Absolutely, I'm all for my daughters speaking impeccably with their words. It is so confusing when you just assume or hope or daydream or it. Absolutely not. I want my girls to be concise in their choices in their life. I don't want them spending weeks on end wondering if a boy likes them. I want them to say, hey, I find you interesting. Would you like to have coffee? If he says no, then they can just go on about their lives. Oh. Yeah, man. Choose people that you find interesting. Lynn, say it to me. Is it hard for you to tell me? I'm not saying you're interested. I'm just saying use me as an example. If you find your person in your relationship, they're going to pursue you for the rest. If you find a healthy man or woman, whatever you're into, they're going to pursue you the rest of your life. You're going to get all kinds of the pursuing. But God guide you. I agree with that. Hi, Michelle. I'm getting ready to get off again. Didn't you come in last night late, too? I'm only on. I need to get off soon. Like, real soon. Like, in a couple minutes. Thank you guys for all the likes. I really appreciate it. I've been very broken. Okay, this is a safe place for you. We've all been there. I've been there, like, damn near killed myself. And now I'm here. Yes, I love that, Tammy. It's better to know than to lay awake and wonder, and a no is a new door opening. Yeah, you can let it go and move on. If you don't take the shot, you'll never know if it could have been, or you'll always wonder. All right, Renee, have an amazing night. I appreciate you guys too, more than you know. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Yeah, it takes two, right? If you're painting yourself into a corner and you're putting yourself in a box where I'm just not going to pursue a man at all whatsoever, I'm just going to sit here on my couch and wait for him to knock on my door, then you are going to be waiting for a long time. Thank you guys, Sky. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go live again till Friday night or Saturday night. I really wish I could, but I really have to put. Unless I can. I'll try. It'll be. I could work out at work. We'll see. I'll try and make time for you guys for more lives. I sent you a copy of the ebook. Oh, I didn't even see it. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at checking emails. I will look for that. And your thing starts on Friday, right? Your course. Lucy, that don't work. Sit on your couch. It ain't gonna come knock on your door. Anyway, Jason, I'll talk to you outside of here. Everybody else. Oh, okay. I'll look for it tonight or tomorrow. Everyone else, I appreciate you hanging out with me. This was actually a very good live. It was very informative. I appreciate all you guys asking questions and feedback. It really makes this work. And I hope you guys do get something out of these lives, because I just want nothing more than to help you guys be your best selves. So, Sherry, have an amazing night. Patty, have an amazing night. I appreciate you too. This is the end. I'm sorry, Luce. We've been on since 7:30. I'll tell you what, if you go follow my YouTube page, it's Brian Morgan Focus Not Fear. I'll put this live up tomorrow on it, because this was actually a very informative live. And it's got a lot of good stuff in it. So if you want to go follow me on YouTube, this will be up tomorrow and you can listen to it. But other than that, you guys have an amazing night, and I will see you as soon as I can get back on live. For sure, Saturday night. No, not Saturday. For sure, Friday night, maybe sooner. Anyway, have a good night, guys.